Hello, everyone. This is Brother Benson, and I'm joined this evening with two of my brothers here. That is Makobura, Migoda, and we are still waiting for Joseph and Barack. Hopefully, they are on their way to the studio so we can continue with our conversation where we left. Thank you so much, everyone, and those who will be in the comment section too. We really appreciate, and I hope you'll be joining us soon. Hey, Makobura, barigani.
Good evening. Niko salama mimi. Nashukuru Mola.
Yeah.
Natumai vile hata nyinyi ambao mko studio mko salama. Naona mwenzetu Jipsaikona alianza kuzungumza about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Na ni kama ako na bado yuko. Acha nichukue fursa hii kumkaribisha, tutasema mingi hivi mbele.
Okay, asante sana. Migoda, habari gani?
Mimi niko swadakta, niko vyema upande wangu. Nashukuru, tunaona kama mambo ni confusion but tutaona vile itakuwa.
Confusion kwa nani? Kwako wewe mwenyewe ama kwa labda yale ambao wewe unaona katika mazingira ambayo unaishi?
Mazingira ninapoishi kwangu mimi mwenyewe ni vile naelewa kidogo, lakini unajua pia mimi binadamu mwenye natembea. Sasa wakati natembea nafanya mazungumzo na wenzangu. Kila msee ambaye amekutana na mimi ananiuliza mambo na hii mambo ya Edwin Sifuna na baba iko aje. Sasa hapo nasema watu wanaishi katika confusion ile, waelewi. Kila msee ako na opinion yake tofauti na mwingine. Sasa nasema watu wanakuchanganya. Sasa unaenda kuchanganyikiwa.
Na pia baadhi ya watu, yani tuseme kwamba kila mtu anatoa wazo lake. Sasa labda unapatakana unashindwa utafuata wazo la nani ama nani yenyewe sasa anajua ukweli. Lakini mimi kitu ambacho najua ni kwamba wale ambao wako na ukweli kabisa ni maviongozi yao. Mimi naweza sema kwamba Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga na Edwin Sifuna, hao wenyewe wanajua ukweli wa mambo. Sisi hapa tu ni ile tu tumebaki tukitafakari na tukitoa maoni, tunaweza na ienda ikawa itakuwa hivi, lakini hatuna ile labda tunaweza tunahakikisha kwamba ni jambo sahihi. Labda tuseme kwamba wazo lao ambao sisi tumetoa, kwa sababu nikikurudisha tu nyuma, ndugu yangu, unajua ukiangalia ODM sana sana kwa utaratibu wake sana ukiangalia matukio hapo awali ambao zimeshatokea, na tumeona maviongozi wao sana ambao wako katika nyadhifa ya kama hiyo ya Sifuna. Nikikukumbusha wakati wa Ababu na Mwamba, unaweza kumbuka zile Ababu na Mwamba wakati walikuwa wanaenda katika uchaguzi ya kuchagua maviongozi ambao walikuwa wanafaa wakae katika chama. Unajua wale men in black walikuja, wanaume wakati wako kwa ile mavazi rasmi nyeusi, walikuja pale wakavuruga mambo, na mambo ikaribika. Siku ya uchaguzi haikufanywa na hakuna maneno ambayo tulisikia kutokea hapa, na hiyo mambo ilienda hivyo, hakuna mtu alichukuliwa hatua ama nini, unaona. Na ya kwanza hayo. Ukakuja pia Magerere pia pale tu wakati ambao walikuwa nazungumza, watu wakakuja wakawatoa tu, wakamtoa. Ukiona kale gari lake kikatolewa punzi, jamaa kakimbia. Lakini ilienda hivyo, mambo ikaenda hivyo, maisha ikaendelea. Lakini unajua hii ya Edwin Sifuna ni kama kuna utofauti fulani, na baada hata kuweza kutoa tamko katika yale mahojiano ambayo ulikuwa nayo, na hata hapo awali kuna yale kauli ambao amekuwa akitoa, na baada amesimama na hizo kauli zake, tunaona kama bado mambo inaendelea. Hata ukikumbuka wakati walikuwa wanazika mwenda zake Mheshimiwa Were, Raila mwenyewe baba alikuja akasema kwamba huyu anazungumza lugha ya chama, msimamo wa chama. So unajua, nakubaliana na wewe, kuna hiyo kutofahamu kati ya wale ambao ni wafuasi sugu wa ODM. Kuna watu wanakuja na wazo tofauti, but hayo ni jambo ambayo tutafanyia mjadala. Labda tu nikikuja kwa Makobura, we siku yake imekuwa aje, na leo ni TBT, unakumbuka zile za zama. Wewe ni kitu gani ambayo labda wewe unasema kwamba unakumbuka?
Okay, thank you so much. I think what I can remember or what comes into my mind is where we've come from as a people. As a country, we've come from far. You've just spoken about what used to happen Kitambo, and then that reminded me of the steps that we've made in our quest of democracy, in our quest of good governance, and the kind of sufferings, the kind of deaths, the kind of lack of respect to the human rights, lack of respect to the people in opposition, the difficult things, the sufferings, the deaths. That is what is coming into my mind. And if I remember that, it reminds me that we are still on the way.
Yep.
And it also reminds me that we can still do it. It reminds me that as a people, some people had done it before. They stood up, fought for the rights of the people of Kenya. They stood up, starting from when we were looking for the independence. Wakafukuza wakoloni. They got back their country. They started, unifying the country. They started, building the country. And today we are celebrating a milestone that, was people fought for, a milestone that, there's a group of people who lost their lives, and some of them, even their bodies are never found.
Mm-hmm.
And what pains me again, if I remember that past, is the fact that we have leaders who have read the history. We have leaders. Some of them were there. They saw what happened. And today, they're the people who are officiating, or they're the people who are supporting such kind of negative thoughts, negative energy. They're the people who are going against the rights of the people. They are the people who are going, or they're the people who are assisting in things which are not really right. We are seeing consistent abduction in the country. We are seeing consistent silencing of people having different different view. And the question that I then ask myself is, why is it that you want to finish someone having a different opinion? Why can't you listen to them? Why can't you ask them why they're having a different opinion? Why can't you embrace, their thinking? Why, kama mtu anafinywa na kiatu, mtu analialia hataki kuvaa kiatu, unafaa umuulize unafinywa na upande gani? I think that is the right way to deal with things. And since we are mature democracy, we are mature country, we are mature people, a people that are learned, we are people that has the knowledge, a people that have gone through a lot.
Yeah.
And out of the things we've gone through, we've learned quite a lot. I think we need to do what we call implement what we've learned. We need to use the knowledge that we've learned, to make what we call we need to use the knowledge that we learned to help us do what is right, so that we don't repeat the mistakes that we did sometimes back.
Okay.
That is what I can say. And yeah, I wanted to say something about Gypsy Corner, but maybe I know you'll permit me to do so later.
You can go ahead. You still have time. Just say it before we go into the main discussion.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to say that to our viewers, we really appreciate the fact that they've always supported us. Gypsy Corner has always supported us. Judith Karitha is always here with us, and the kind of comments, the motivation, interacting with us at the comment section is such a key thing, and it keeps us going. Gypsy Corner has also been assisting us, not just via the comments, but even financially. And it's an honor that we are getting that kind of support from Gypsy Corner. And I think on my side, I want to say that I'm grateful to the support that Gypsy Corner has given us, the financial support. On remember the project that we are having, we did receive the support from Gypsy Corner. Not just that, several times, she has always bought us tea, and it's not. I know it's not easy, and we don't really warrant that, but out of I don't know, but God knows. We personally appreciate, and I pray to you that may God give you the grace to always stand with the people whenever you are in a position to. And may God bless and add you more.
Okay.
That is my prayer to Gypsy Corner. And I also pray to our good friend Judith Karitha. Judith is always here with us. The first comment, yeye na Gypsy Corner wanakwanga wa kwanza, and we really appreciate. Judith has been consistent. I do interact with Judith at times. I know her schedule is very tight, but the kind of support that she's always given to us is something that we also appreciate. And I want to say a big thank you to Judith as well. And not just Judith and Gypsy Corner, there are also quite a good number of friends, the likes of our good friend Laban Misiani, who has just joined, and others. We really appreciate. We will mention them one by one as we proceed. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura, for that. And Laban Misiani also, thank you so much for joining. Yesterday, maybe the link delayed, but I saw you on the dashboard and you disappeared. We wanted to know more about the party, because you've proven us wrong, that you've always stood by your principle in matters of the party of ODM. Even if sometimes we discuss, you always maintain and you keep your cool. Maybe Miguda, is there something that you can say, please, before we go into the main discussion of today?
Okay, thank you for granting me that opportunity so that I can at least say something. First, I want to also appreciate Laban Misiani. Laban Misiani, we usually differ with him in opinion, but the good thing is that Laban is diplomat. He understands that differing in opinion doesn't amount to enmity, and that is how we like it, because he cannot do the same. And also our good friend Douglas Kibogong. They're the notorious people for Kumi Bila break. Douglas Kibogong and Laban Misiani. They have been consistent that 2 term. But it's good. I like it because this is the environment we want. Unlike other people, when we are in certain people, someone can even fight you. Someone can even end up killing you because you have said one time. No, it should not. It's just a matter of differing, then we make progress. So Laban Misiani and Douglas Kibogong, they have been good people actually. And you remember, Laban Misiani also promised me that when I join ODM, they will fight so that I will be given ticket to buy for. Okay, so to our good friend Judith Karita, is just a young lad like us, and we say much with her. Actually, Makubra just confirmed. We interact with her too much, and we understand her very well. Her schedule is all tight, and also she was on the demonstration. She has been part and parcel of our team, and whenever we call Brother Benson Mida, we cannot forget her. And lastly, I want to also appreciate Gypsy Corner. I just want to appreciate Gypsy Corner because it is important to appreciate her. You understand, we got several things to do here. When we were starting, actually, when we were starting Brother Benson Media, by the time we joined with Marco Bura, we used to have like 3 viewers. One of them was Gypsy Corner. In that time, she used to be called Goodyear. We were only 3 viewers, and from that time to date, she has been here. So it's good, because personally I can say I appreciate her, because other than the project, which we have been blessed to have received some amount from her, and also personally, sometimes like me yesterday, I wasn't around, and when I wasn't around, I wasn't around for when we were concluding. So when I woke up in the morning, I found something from her. So that is very good because at least my day was well organized. I had to move around. That is very good because you understand, we do use logistics for us to come here. Like some of us who are operating from remote, it's not easy. Issues with network and other things. So I can just say it is good because at least we have been moving and we appreciate so much. And may good God always bless you and also bless where it's coming from. So I think I have to say that one, Brother Benson. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. I'm seeing our good brother Barack also is in here for us. Hi, Barack, how are you doing?
Hi, Brother Ben, Miguda, and Mark, and all our viewers. Greetings. I'm doing well. And
Okay.
you?
We're doing fine. We were just taking time to thank especially our viewers in the comment section. That is Laban Misiani, Judith, and Gypsy Corner. So maybe if you have anything to say before we go into the main discussion.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to see viewers in the comment section already engaging the session. I just want to extend my appreciation to one of our greatest fan, Gypsy Corner, and for always standing with Brother Benson Media. And you heard Miguda say today his day was well organized today, so you understand that. That also extend, I think, to all of us, courtesy of Gypsy Corner. So my gratitude to her, and for continuing supporting the members of Brother Benson Media. And I wish her all the best wherever they are, and I hope that she will continue supporting this great team of intellectuals, and I hope that all is going to be well with whatever he's doing. Much blessings upon her. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for your good comments and wise saying on the people who have always stood with us. And to me, I would say that there's beyond what I can say, especially concerning of the support that we've been getting, especially from Gypsy Corner, because it has touched the life, and it is not just something that reaches us; it surpasses us, and it extends to the people that we usually take care of. You know, as we know, majority of us here, we do have responsibility, and if it comes that way, we really appreciate, and to me as the host, and to me as a family, I would say thank you so much, and may God bless you, and again may God bless you again and again. And I know our project is coming in October. We are doing so well, and we are still just having a conversation with the school. They're yet to give us a date. They were supposed to give us a date in September. We agreed on 23rd of September, but due to the school schedule, there was also a function that was going to take place that day on 23rd of September, but now they are still working on the date, but it will be in October. That's what from the head teacher. And there are so many people who have come on board, and who the idea is good for, and they're really appreciating that. So to our viewers, we will make sure that we will bring you everything that is going to happen to that occasion, because these children, especially, they cannot afford. I tell you, those are our mothers in that village that we've taken. they cannot afford to buy the ring paper. For the ring paper is going for around between 700 to around 800. And if you look at the statistics in that school, especially the last time I was visiting and the last time I've been having a conversation with them, you find that it has piled for almost 2 years. So you find that sometimes the headmaster that is there go extra mile to use his own money. He also has a responsibility. He's a primary school teacher. And, so sometimes that is what we are called for. And for that case, I'm so much grateful, and we are blessed. I would say that we are blessed. And I also say that the history of our nation will be written, but it will not be written in politics only. But there's a child somewhere that will always say thank you, even though they will not know who they are saying thank you to. But God in heaven knows very well who that thank you is going for. So in that case, that is a big thank you. And we pray to all of us that may God bless us, that let us continue to do what is right, and let us continue to write those history that people did not write. Let us be in the forefront. It doesn't mean that we will be written in the books, but in the hearts of those who listen to us and make those decisions. That history will be printed in their hearts, and they will say it until the day that they will be leaving this earth, that there was this channel and this group of people who really were having this conversation, made me to make a decision, that a decision that I made at least changed life. The decision that you make does not mean that even the candidate that you are going to vote for is going to win, but you will be standing tall to make sure that when the country or that place was needed somebody to stand with them in truth, but you were there. You celebrate your wins and you celebrate together with the losses that you make. But there is something that is very special in life, is that you can lose, but you know that you're losing on the right track, that I stood with the truth, and I stood with something that if everybody could have seen, could have made a change in life. That is one of the celebratory losses that sometimes comes our way, that we lose knowing very well that we lose on principality, that our principle and our values cannot change. Whether we lose, whether we will maintain them, then they will stand tall and shine, and they become beacon on hope for those even who are coming. When they read that history, they will say they stood for what is good for this country. And that is something that cannot be taken away for people who love their country and their family and the environment and their community where they live. Thank you so much, our people, for such a good and a wonderful time. Let's come back to the discussion of today. There are a few things that I want us to talk about before we go into the main discussion. One is about the e-citizen. I think you're aware that yesterday, I don't know how true it is, that the money that has always been collected on the e-citizen, the money is not going to the government itself. And I have a tweet somewhere. I don't know how true is this, but I will put a disclaimer on this. Kenya shillings of 44 billion collected via e-citizen cannot be accounted for. Kenya shillings 106 million in marriage fee vanished from just 15 center. 19 center didn't even bother to file reports. So this is something that I saw on the internet, but I don't know how true is it. I don't know any one of you has come across this. So that is another thing that also is happening. One thing also is happening in the educational sector, and it is worrying me, because if Mwai Kibaki made it easier for people to have free primary education, that instead of us progressing, we are retrogressing. And this is according, when you look at what was happening today, I think it was on the Standard, when Mbadi was saying that the capitation will reduce from something like around 22,000 and some shillings on top to around 16,000. And that is in the educational sector. So these are things that we need maybe to give our views, and we say that, are we really progressing as a country, especially when we look at the educational sector? Because if you look at the history of our country, what are the 4 pillars that they said they were fighting? Tulikuwa tunapigana na ujinga. na tunaamini kwamba ujinga ilikuwa inapigana nayo ili watu wakuje kujua wakuwe na uweledi na kuelewa, ama wakuwe wasomi. Hiyo ndio ujinga sasa tulikuwa tunapigana nao, yeah? Lakini kama unapata kwamba if we could have increased the value, it could have been okay. But now the capitation is reducing. What does it mean? So those are the kind of conversation that I want you to at least let us have views. Yeah, I will start with Barak. Barak, what is your view on the capitation that is reducing, and whereby the minister says that the secondary and primary, the government seem not to be funding it right now, because like it seems that there is no money. What is your take on that?
Thank you, Ben. I think the issue of capitation has been a thorn in the flesh of the Ministry of Education for many years now, and you know that if you interact with teachers or principals of high schools, they will tell you that the percentage that is normally sent to the school, it is either they send those percentages very late, and you find that normally the parents shoulder the burden of running these public high schools. And if you have a friend or a family member who has a student in high school, they will tell you that sometimes even the schools are forced to close early by even a week, because there is no money to keep students in school. So you find that it has been, I think the government has been really struggling with this issue of capitation, and I think it is high time for the government to prioritize education. You know, education is one of the pillars of a society, because if a government cannot invest in education, I think it is killing its future, because educating the children is investing in the future. But now, when we have a population where children are not able to access education, then it means that we are killing our future. So I think that even if the government has a small budget, no matter how small it is, education must be a priority. Any serious government. And I think it was unfortunate for the CS, for the expert to claim that the budget is so small that the government is no longer able to support whatever the capitation that they have been supporting, because that should not be coming from such a person, because the priority of any government must be investing in education. And I know there are so many sectors in government where they can cut budgets and direct channel that money to education, because we cannot compromise on educating our children as a country, because when we do that, then it means that we will be now multiplying poverty, because you know, in most families it's only education that can be an equalizer in a society. And if we allow the country, the government to say that now it's only the rich who can access education, then it means that we are going to perpetuate that continuation of cycles of poverty in many families, because we've seen people who have seen the light courtesy of education. And even if you go to this, even if you look at this parliament, someone like the Babu Wino, if it's not for education, he could have, even nobody could have known him. So, and I know we have so many examples. I just single out one. So, as a country, and I think this must be a priority. This one, it should now be a national priority. That the government must invest in education at all cost. Yeah, because that is the only way for us to have a society that is equal. Back to you.
Barak, thank you. When you talk about the government must, and you want to equalize, or you want to do kind of like you have an equation that you want to balance off this mathematics, whereby you find especially the leaders who are allied to the government. We spoke about this yesterday. That's why I said that this is a continuation. That we can get money, especially to build churches. The other time we saw President promised around 20 million to build a church. And we are seeing all this empowerment that is taking place, especially. Let us just be realistic. And it is empowerment. Yet, the future of the nation, the future, including even the CS himself, I've seen some flyers whereby he's going to in the empowerment. You know, the other day we saw him with Honorable Oscar Sudi. He was there, and he gave something like a million, and for his first time in the public, I was seeing CS Mbadi giving out $1 million in his political career. And now we have something that is the backbone, the future of the younger generation. It is. And if to read, this is what he said. New secondary education capitation is 16,900, down from 22,244. Treasury CS Mbadi announces once government can't sustain free primary education and secondary education. And if you go earlier, he also said this. Public varsities funding. Treasury CS Mbadi hints at staff layoffs, closure of satellite campuses, and outsourcing is underfunded. Institution, says government cannot meet the sponsor student needs. Education still. This is now higher learning education. That is how can we then balance this off? That there's a empowerment that is going, that each and every week the millions that are being used for empowerment, but now the real empowerment that is about education, the government cannot fund. How can we balance this off?
Brother, yesterday I talked about the system. The Kenya's problem is systematic rather than individual. The money that is wasted in these systems that we see in this country, it is much more than even what the schools need. Let me give you an example. If you look at if the president maybe is visiting, let me say, like even Siaya County, for example, or even a CS is visiting Siaya County, can you see that convoy of fuel guzzlers, written GK, and unnecessary security? And do you know that in that one visit, maybe they are coming to launch a project of 5 million, and in that convoy only, and in that one day visit, you might find that they've spent even 50 million from the public coffers to come and launch a project of 10 million. Now, if this money can be reduced in terms of reducing wastages in government,
yeah,
and channel directed to education, because education is the backbone of any society.
Mm-hmm.
Now, look at how bursary has been dished out in this country. That every politician wants to have an office to offer bursary. If this money that is being channeled through bursary can be consolidated, and maybe this budget is direct to the Ministry of Education, and we are told that every child just go to school, yeah, and so that this system, we have so many systems that are not working, that are just money is just hanging around, and the more we continue entertaining this system, the more we continue going round and round in this cycle, because it is not. These systems are not working to the interest of the people, but working to the interest of the politician. If you look at all these convoys and people who want to associate themselves with that, I was part of that visit, and there's nothing, there's no value they're adding. If we compare ourselves, for example, compare the convoys of our president and the convoy of the Rwandan president. I don't know if you've seen him going around in his country. Mm-hmm. You don't need all those vehicles around you for you to feel that you're the president. Brother Ben, you don't need to walk with a billboard written Brother Benson for you people to know that you are Brother Ben. Mm-hmm. Once you are the president, you don't have to walk with a huge convoy for people to know that you are the president. You already elected. People know that you are the president. Can we now just cut down. Right? And people talk so much when they're looking for votes, but once they're elected into office, they get carried away with all this flamboyant lifestyle and everything. And this is where Kenyans are losing billions of money each and every financial year. But if we can just be serious as a society and cut down on all this nonsense that are not adding value to the people of Kenya, and channel that money to things that matter like education and health, because these two are really wearing down on the millions of Kenyans who are living under poverty line. Yeah. So can we just get serious? Because the government cannot tell us they don't have money, because the same government is wasting a lot of money on issues that do not add value to the Kenyan people. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you so much, Barack, for that. And sometimes it's not very easy to comprehend, especially even in a layman's language, like a layman's thought. Oh, we call it that, somebody who has not gone to school. There's something that sometimes, especially for our parents who did not have an opportunity to go through formal education, despite the fact that they do not have even like the financial background knowledge, but there's something that you cannot take away from them on how they use their money. They know how to set their priority right, especially with the little money that they've got. They will make sure that they invest it, the larger portion of it, they invest it in education, to make sure that the generation that is coming, her generation, at least have something, especially when it comes to education, can match the world. But remember, this is a parent or our grandmother who never went through formal education, and that's why sometimes when you come across this pictures that sometimes roll in the social media, whereby a grandmother go as far as getting a chicken to take so that can pay the school fee for the granddaughter or grandson. They understand what it means. Yeah. And if you look at the background, especially when it comes to things to come to rearing chickens, the other time I saw somebody with mboga tu, alikuwa amepeleka mboga na mjukuu wake. Yeah, anajua naweza chukua hii mboga nipeleke sokoni nipate pesa, lakini anasema kwa sababu ni hivyo, wacha mimi niwapelekea hata mpike mkate, hata kama mtakuwa mnachukua hiyo shilingi 5, kwa sababu anajua labda akipata hiyo pesa sokoni akuje nayo kwa nyumba itapata matumizi badala. So they are very clever enough to know that, okay, let me just, even if it is like this small amount, let me take it there so that they deduct, so I don't get that money in hand. So at least they have that knowledge that we need to invest in the education. So, and as I was saying earlier, if Kibaki did it, and it was a landmark in the history of education, especially in the history of Kenya, then why are we retro? We call it retrogressing instead of progressing. So, and how will our society be? And remember, how many students are we bringing out in the job market? And those are there jobs that the number of students that we're bringing in the job can be absorbed? And how can we make sure that this absorption of even those who are coming out of the university are absorbed? So those are some of the things that the leaders should always discuss and look. We be proactive. Sometimes you can make a projection, especially those who are dealing with the statistics, or those who are the business who usually study the trends of the markets. Sometimes if you're a businessman, you study the trend of the market, when the supply will be high and the pricing, supply and demand chain curve, when should I order, when should I not, but like you need to have that knowledge. So anyway, those are some of. Let me come to you, Miguda. Miguda, what do you say about the educational sector with what the CS for Treasury especially said concerning the higher learning institution and the primary and secondary education when it comes to free services on it?
That's why I have a different opinion with the current president.
Yeah.
Because with him, he's saying that there are those who are conservative, whereby they want to retain the old funding model, but with him is introducing the new funding model. But what is not telling you is that the consequences of this new funding model is just saying, like, this is a new thing. Let us embrace a new thing and let us abandon the old model. But the question is, who is funding this new funding model? That's where we have to ask him question. That's where we have a problem with him. We have a different opinion according the way he's trying to maybe tell people his manifesto. But what I want to say about education, because when I read the budget, I saw that budget, and I saw them allocating a lot of funds in infrastructure, roads, and markets. So to them, they prioritize a lot of infrastructure and markets, whereby they want to use them as a campaign tool, that tulijenga barabara hii, tukajenga soko hii, what people can see with their eye. But to me, we have been using those Maram Road before. What if you allocate that much to education?
Yeah.
Therefore, everybody should just go to school. You just go to school from kindergarten to tertiary. It doesn't matter the amount of money. You don't pay anything. Because to me, when you, like Barakav's given example, were it not for education, we could not have realized that we have a great man by the name Babu Owino. So there are so many people outside here who are great people actually. Even if you go to the villages, there are mere, most of my time, you will understand, I do go deep to the ground. I usually found people who are, they just lack that environment whereby they could get good education. They could be greater people, even in terms of decision making, and they are just left outside there. So to me, why can't we even divert certain budget so that we can give it the CS for education, and we just fund our education? It should be free, because you understand it's us who is paying the taxes. Now, when we fund our education free from kindergarten to tertiary, to me it's a priority, because when you educate a child, one child alone is able to transform the entire community or the society or the family. Because if you have a teacher from a certain family, the same teacher is able, right, like what you said, that some of the funds we are receiving surpasses our own needs. There are people who depend on us. So for instance, if today I'm a teacher, when I get salary, I'm able to take care of some women, around 4 at home, and even other siblings. But if I'm not, I'm a nobody. I'm unable. So we are subjecting many families in suffering. So education should be priority, in my view. Let us abandon, because even during the Mwai Kibaki time, those roads were not tarmac, but people are going to school. Why do you prioritize other things and you abandon the education? Education should be free, in my view. And also this issue of making some lawmakers to look like they are the provider to education. I gave you bursary. If I could have not given you bursary, you could have not go to school. That is nonsensical, because that money belongs to us. So you are making them like that ODM, that CDF kitty. Now we are going to give you bursary. We are going to give the governors bursary, the women rep bursary, and they will introduce even the MCA bursary. So why can't they just allocate this money? They take it from the lawmakers and even the county governors and even women rep. They allocate it to the CS for education, so that they can just fund this education as a government, whereby you just come from your home, go to school, up to the level you are in terms of ranking, where those people who are average, the below average, above average, so those people can go to the universities, those people can go to colleges, those people can go to the TVETs, those people also can go to do other technical. So it depends on your ranking where you will be placed. So to me, that is my suggestion. That's why I differ with Ruto when he said that these conservatives we're introducing new funding model, but the question is, who is funding this new funding model? They could have said we have a new funding model from the government whereby all of us are going to school free. Lastly, if they want to campaign on the issues like barabara or markets, to me, they could have just said, okay, we never constructed this road and this market because the money was allocated to education. Right now, watoto wenu are going to school freely. That one is also a good mode to campaign on. So I believe, to me, I differ with the current new funding model.
You know, and you know, when you look at it, and it's a simple math. It's something that I can do because, like, if statistics, because like information or decision can made based on the statistics on what we collect. For instance, if I'm given a managerial role over school, and I know the number of students that are in that school with the statistics, then the number is now the statistics, and can make me have informed decision. And also I can come up with how do I know, especially like what they want. Is just come up with the hypothesis. Then after coming up with this hypothesis, go there, the hypothesis that you've written down, try to ask them what they want, do the statistics. Then from there, it will give you the statistics of your hypothesis, whether your hypothesis that you had is wrong or is right. Then after getting that, now you make a decision. And let's say, for example, this is something that is very simple. The government has statistics on the number of students who are in the particular school, the number of what they require per student. You know, what is now the role, especially like sometimes you find like the members of parliament, because they have all this, everybody has a bursary, women rep, all that, everybody has. Even them, let's take for a county, for instance, you have women rep has a bursary, you have governor has a bursary, the MP, including even the president for that, has a bursary. Then you find even if those bursaries, there's some students still do not get that money. So why can't we then pull up the resources, bring all the money together? We know who is in high school, who is in the such a class, how many are there, what money do they need? Then we release this money per school, and knowing very well that these are the people who are there. And I hope the relevant officers, be it the teachers or what, who are there, they will know on how to use that money. So I think we are losing it. That is especially when it comes to education. I think we might be losing it. I see Joseph has already joined. Thank you so much, Joseph, for coming in. Before I invite Joseph, Makubura, can you just give your thought on what is happening in the education sector, and are we headed in the right direction?
Okay, thank you. I want to say that while I was growing up, I was taught, and most of the time, I would be told that education is the shaper of anybody's future. And I remember the motto of the primary where I studied. It was saying that education is life. Was it education is life or education is key? Miguda, I'm forgetting. Maybe you can remind me. And
Education for life.
oh yeah, I remember that. And just from that motto, I got to know that I needed to take education serious. I needed to study hard because I knew the way we were being told that it is the only equalizer. Whether you're coming from a poor background, whether you're coming from a rich background, the only thing that is going to put you on the table with the rich or with a class of people that are either wealthy or whichever, it is education. And we were given quite a number of examples, even in the villages. I can testify that while you were growing up, you were being told that, you see this family, these people did not have anything, but out of the hard work that one or two of them, out of the hard work in education, those families changed, their status changed. And I want to say that it's so unfortunate because majority of the people who are currently in government, starting with the president, most of the time the president has always given us his story. He used to tell us that he was going to school barefoot. And that is not strange. Some of us went to school barefoot. And it is the education that made him, to dine with the closer allies, with the family of the late President Moi, the late President Kenyatta. And it is education that made him, I'm quite sure, to even have a relationship with the former president. Having acknowledged that, I think it is upon him as a president to also ensure that he makes education still becomes the hope of the families who are coming from a background that is not really favoring them in their quest for education. It is my request that they look into education sector. That is the only, that is the most important docket that really needs to be looked into. If we have a country where people are not educated, we are going to lag behind. And with the high technology and new trends in technology which are coming each and every day, if we do not, as a people, if we do not, as Kenyans, get the opportunity to learn and to experience and to do practicals in the new fields, the technological fields which are coming, and with advancement, then we will not grow as a country. The economy of countries in this generation or in these times, they fully depend on people who are learned. And for you to get to par, or for you to get to the same level as the other countries, then you need to have an education system that gives the people the environment to learn. It needs to be an environment that is exposing people into those technological advancement. It is my request again, just like you have said. Today, there was a news that from the finance minister that they're reducing the capitation from 22,000 to 16,000. I want to tell you that it is not easy for the parents. There is high level of poverty in the Republic of Kenya. As much as people are looking for education, it is not easy for them. We've seen quite a number of clips and videos. The other day, you saw what was happening in Omabay. A grandmother went to school with the two children, with her two grandchildren, and she was carrying, some ends. Alikuwa anabeba kuku, and he had a, she was supposed to pay a lot of money. She was unable. Not so long ago, the other granny also decided to take a grandchild to school, na yeye sasa alikuwa anabeba mboga, na mboga ilikuwa ina cost 150 shillings. And we are being told that young boy, he was the top in his class. If you deny an opportunity to someone who is coming from a poor background, someone who is bright, to get that education so that he can transform their family, can transform their village, can transform their society, then what are we then after? I think the most important thing is education, that it has to be looked into. Okay. The level of confusion that we are having in the Republic of Kenya, we are seeing it in the docket where there's a lot of money that is being given, just like you did say. Women rep, sijui affirmative, whatever, pesa mingi, billions of money wamewekewa. Members of parliament, sijui CDF, sijui whatever wamepewa. MCAs wanapeana yao, governor anapeana yake. Yani we are in a confused environment where even the president ataanza kupeana basari. Kuna basari ya president, kuna basari ya cabinet secretaries, because we have basari for governors, MPs, senators. Why can't we use all this money that we are wasting for bursary? Because the fact of the matter is, there's a good number of people who really deserves or needs these bursaries, but they've never received them. Yep. That is why we are today having a high number of people I mean, young people getting into streets. If you go to the streets of Nairobi, there's a gentleman by the name of Seria who is katibu mkuu, anaitwa sijui katibu mkuu wa sijui environment ya gatuzi la Nairobi.
Mazingira.
Mara nyingi tunamwona akipigana na the street children. And if you hear some of the conversation when he's trying to ask them the reason why they came to the street, there are things that are avoidable. If we had a serious government, they will actually do something about it. But it is so unfortunate. We need to stop giving MPs, MCAs. Let us consolidate this money and tulipe tu hizi pesa zote zenye zinahitajika. We had made a step in 2002 when we came up with a free education system. And out of that, you see, the Gen Zs and the youths of today, they're the most learned actually. Even if you do that analysis in Africa, Kenya has the most educated youths, the most smartest youths, even in Africa itself, and even in the world. The reason being is majority of them started studying during the time of the late President Kibaki, when he had introduced a free education system. That was in 2002. Today, we are in 25 years later, we are getting back. We are trying to stop the free education system. Are we then making a step? That is the question we are asking. I wish, and my thinking would be, in 25 years, everything would be free. We'd be having libraries everywhere. We'd be having computers and everything around, so that at your fingertip, at your home ground, you can be able to access the right knowledge that you require as a person. So I still request that we need to do a lot of investment in the education sector.
Yeah.
Because it's the backbone. That is what is going to shape the future of this country. That is what is going to maintain the level of advancement in this society.
Okay, thank you so much and for that. And just I want to remind you, if you look back to the time of Kibaki, especially when the free primary education was introduced, there was huge population that went back to school. Every kid, and the classes were full. Some even did not go with the uniform. If you ask those who are there. And there was also another generation that went, parents also went back to school. The people who went back to school, they say that I'd rather go and get a class 8 certificate. There were grandfathers and the fathers and the parents who were sharing classroom with their kids, just for them only to get like a class 8 certificate. We saw that, So those are very remarkable and historical history in the journey of Kenya. Those are in our archives. When you talk about Kibaki, the first item that usually comes on the list on Kibaki's catalog is free primary education. Nobody talks about the Thika Highway. No, the first catalog, the number one list in his catalog, free primary education, which he did within his 100 days. Actually, it was not even 100 days. It's something that happened immediately, if I'm not wrong. Let me take this opportunity to give Joseph. Joseph, I hope you're doing fine. We are just looking at what is happening in the education sector based on what was said by the CS for Treasury, especially concerning the free primary education and secondary, and also to our learning institutions. Maybe what is your take as maybe somebody who might have enjoyed the catalog of Kibaki, that is free primary education?
Thank you so much to our panelists, and thank you so much, Brother Benson, for hosting us today. There is a one person who came and sang and said, if education is the key, so why is the government making so expensive for us or for we? So where did the rain start beating us? That is where we need to start asking ourselves. The rain started beating us when we introduced the government that came in 2013. Because when we started I'll take us for a history lesson. When Kibaki entered in 2002, by God's grace, he was able to fulfill within his 100 days, he was able to fulfill free primary education. And it helped so many people, because the people who went to school right now, the Gen Z you're seeing in the streets, they went through the Kibaki system, which they got their education from. So after that, what happened? After we went for election 2007, after we entered 2008, they brought another model of free secondary education. Even though it was not fully free, they said they were going to pay tuition for the kids, but the parents were going to chip in and pay for the food, and how they are going to stay in the boarding schools. And truly, the school fees went down drastically. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
So when we came back to 2013, these guys, they say that they are going to utilize that procedure of free secondary education. So the problem, what I'm saying, the rain beating us in 2013, we were supposed now to go to a mode where we were supposed to help these kids in the secondary, that they can even get food without even the parents chipping in anything. They just only told to buy uniform and buy some maybe boxes, the boxes for clothes and what. Then they take their children without even thinking about what these kids will eat or what. So that was the second step. Now, if they could have taken that step by 2017, from 2017 to 2022, we could be talking about another model of university model, where we could be having university kids going through a process seamless, without even if paying for some little funds. And now this government that came in could have been now working on how they are going to make it even free. And we could be having a whole education sector which is free from primary to university. But the problem is, we have leaders who don't care about the country. They don't put priorities about the country first. They put their own priorities in front of other things. Because I came here and I have been complaining about how the president touched on the key sectors in the country, the backbones of our country. I talked about that the other day, and I said he has touched on education, he has touched on agriculture, he has touched on health sector, and he has brought reforms that are very dangerous to these sectors. That's why you can hear our brother Marco Bura can come here and tell you that they have said they are going to reduce the capitation from 22,000 to 16,000, because if you have a person who is not caring about any of these sectors, already his kids have gone to school, and he does not care about anything. By the way, they don't care. These leaders, they don't care. I don't know even why the laws are made by people who their kids are schooling in abroad, and other national schools, other international schools, when our kids are the ones online. Why don't we as parents make the decision of how our kids are going to go to school? Because the people who are given this mandate of making laws for us is like they don't care about anything, brother. You cannot come and tell already a country that is suffering economically that you are going to reduce capitation from 22,000 to 16,000, and also in that time say that you are going to give CDF to members of parliament. What are we doing? What are we even doing? So you mean the parent is going to be lining up for bursary, instead of that money keeping it in the education kitty to have a free primary and secondary education? You want that kitty to go to CDF? Why have we changed our priorities? It's like we are now running on jokes. It's like the country has become of jokers. We don't have anything serious that you can hear in a day. It's absurd to hear that even Marco Bura has been following about the street kids. They are there. They are there in the streets. Why are they in the streets? That Musina is always coming here and telling us how he's going to how kids are having problems. Then you hear in the other hand, the government is waking up in the morning and saying that we don't have money. And it's not only even in you. Today you saw about secondary. The other day I came, I spoke to you guys, and I told you in university model they have said they don't have help money
Yeah,
for the
that's right.
kids that are entering this first semester. They don't have. Imagine, Brother Benson, you take your brother. Maybe you say you have a brother is going to university. You are taking him. You have already used your entire funds. Then the government, the funds that is supposed to give for these kids upkeep for the 3 months, the government tell you we don't have money. I think we have gone a slippery slope with this joke. The country is becoming a joke, and if we are not careful, the country will become a banana republic. If you are not very careful and careful, because you cannot be having these leaders not caring about what the citizens feel and how their kids are feeling and how the economy is failing, and you are still there saying that we should give you chance. What chance do you want us to give you? Do you need us to give you more chance so that now you can come even remove everything that is left? Or which chance do you want us to give you? It's so saddening, and it's sad. It's sad. It's very sad. The state of affairs are very sad.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And I know, Barack, also, I want just to engage you because, like, you know, as much as now we know that the administration of President William Ruto, he's in charge and is now the person currently the Constitution has given him mandate to rule or to administer the country, is the CEO right now. But you know, you come back and look at members of parliament, especially. I know we've talked about this parliament and we talk about the leaders and even the opinion shapers, because like we do have opinion shapers in this country, including the stakeholders like teachers and all that. And are they seeing how we are headed? Or some of them are just seeing and that as leaders, they say, okay, let us be the choir members of this team. Let president do what he does. We will not advise him. This is his time. Are they seeing that danger that is coming and say that, what is my role as a member of parliament? Or what is my role as a leader, especially when it reaches a point whereby the treasury, especially where says that it is not going to be possible. They're saying that there's that reduction in capitation. What do they really understand that is going to hate, especially, or is going to shoulder on the people that they represent? And do they have any solution for it? Or it will be what has been said is final, and that is a guy is going to be to hell with our parents, or just let them do what they want to do?
Thank you, Brother Ben, for that. My opinion is that, you know, as a society, we have a very selfish mindset, and that is what is bedeviling our society. Because if you look at politicians who sits in parliament, they cannot let go of CDF because they are saying that that is part of bursary. They use that to pay bursary, school fees for many students in their own constituencies. And even this argument, I remember when there's a day that Speaker Wetangula dressed down the parliamentarians about this issue of bursary, and it makes a lot of sense. Why can't we just consolidate these funds into the Ministry of Education and allow students to go to school without paying anything? So it's upon now the parent to decide whether you are taking your child to the private school or take your child to public school, where everything is free, because the government, through taxpayers' money, has consolidated all the funds and channeled it to schools to cater for education. They cannot allow that because of selfish interest. They want to use that kitty to perpetuate politics of poverty within their constituencies, so that they will use that as a campaign tool when election comes and say that, okay, I'm the best in terms of issuing bursaries either equal, fairly or whatever, because they know once that is taken away, maybe they are saying that maybe they will have nothing to talk about to convince the poor people within their constituencies that we've been helping you with the bursary, so you need to elect us. So that is just a continuation of the selfishness of our society, where leaders or those who are occupying these positions, they don't care about the common mwananchi, but they care about their own selfish interest. Because if education, for example, Ruto is messing up education, and politicians, they're saying, okay, now we cannot come up with a solution, because if we come up with a solution, maybe our bursaries will be taken away and we'll have nothing else to use as a campaign tool. So it's like Kenyans are on their own, because nobody is willing to come up, those who are sitting in parliament are not willing to come up with with a suggestion or with an idea that can work. And remember, the process of budget making, it's done in parliament. They are the ones who allocate funds to each and every ministry, and they have the power to come up with even miscellaneous to pass a supplementary budget, to allow even the Minister of Education to allocate more funds to the Ministry of Education to support this issue of capitation. But why is it that nobody in parliament is able to do this? Because they want to use it as a campaign tool while Kenyans are suffering. So this means that even the problems of Kenyans is being used as a political tool. So that because politicians want to use your problems to manipulate so that you can vote for them. That's why they don't want to come up with a solution. So because the solutions of many problems that are ailing us rest in parliament. Budget making is done in parliament, allocation is done in parliament, but they better allocate funds even to renovate State House, but not to support education. Because nothing makes sense from this parliament. They're just there to wait to use our poverty to extract votes from us. There's a day, I don't know if you remember that, there was a member of parliament who went to the CDF office, and he found long lines of parents queued since 6 in the morning. They are waiting for bursary, and he told them that this is the problem for being poor. You don't have anything else to do. You're just coming here to line up here the whole day. And that is a member of parliament who is distributing bursary to these parents so that their children can get 5,000 to at least to stay in school. And are you expecting any solution from such a person? Because that is a tool to continue politics of poverty with an assurance that you can never get out of it. Because if that is not the case, they could have allocated funds to the Ministry of Education. They have the powers. They could have directed the Ministry of Finance to allocate more funds to the Ministry of Education to cater for this education.
Barak, I fully agree with you. And today, as I was, because being in the media space, you need to get more information. I came across one of women rep. I will not mention the county, and in her social handle, she even advertised that on such a date we are going for bursary launching. How do you launch bursary? When you're going to give people bursary, you call it a launch. How do you launch it? How do you launch a bursary? Or I don't know the meaning of launching something. How do you launch?
Naona father ameamua kupasua mbarika, ametaja jina. Mimi nilibana jina kwa sababu ya usalama. So anyway, so you see the kind of nonsense that our politicians are keeping this country busy with. They know that they have the solutions, but they don't want to effect those because they want to use that as a campaign. It's such a pity that we have a country where people that we have elected are using our problems as a campaign tool. They are politicizing our problem for their own benefit. And it is so sad, because you were elected in office so that you can bring leaders. Their main main task or is to bring solutions to the problem that are affecting the society. Yeah. It is not to politicize their problem for their own political interest. Yeah. Because they are elected so that they can solve our problems, not to politicize our problems so that they can gain another stamp from it, or they can gain political mileage from them. And this is the part of the problems that are ailing us as a society.
Okay,
People that
thank
we
you.
send to parliament must go there to represent and work for the people, not for their own selfish interests.
Thank you, Barak. Thank you, Barak, and I will invite you. You know, it reminds me where especially like sometimes these are some of the issues that we meet in our daily lives, whereby a member of parliament or somebody who is in leadership who wants to become a leader would say that, okay, one of the things that I will do for you if you elect me, you see this your house, I will make sure that I bring this structure down and build you a good house, because my work as your leader, if you give me your votes, I will make sure that I construct for you a decent house, you know. And you know very well that the woman or the father or wherever you want to build a house for is in the point of need. Yeah. But the only qualification that this person has for you to assist him, because they got in the position to, but if you vote for me, that is when I'm going to do, because these things are happening in the society where we have, you know, and due to the fact that the person is in the dire need, what do you expect this person to do? There are cases whereby even, like, for instance, and sometimes it doesn't make sense for me, even for the voters, we unaenda pale katika labda tuseme wewe na CDF, kuna wale ambao watu wa mkono wa hapa wamepatiwa hiyo jukumu ya kusaidia wananchi kuhakikisha mtoto wa nani ni wale ambao wanapiga msasa ni nani, na sijui kwa nini pia watu tunapiga hizo msasa, tunataka kujua mzazi wake ni nani. Mtoto wa Kenya, he's a Kenyan born, but still you don't have a committee tuangalie huyu anatoka wapi, anafanya nini. Alafu unapata kwamba mama mwingine mjane akitaka, unamwambia unajua, mimi nataka nikupatie basari, lakini kwa hiyo basari nataka labda unipatie kitu kama 1,500, lakini pesa ambayo utakuja kupatiwa hata hii 1,500 imekusaidia na nini? Alafu utapata pia huyo tu mwenye amepatiwa mimi nimefurahi sana, nimepata basari. Umepata ngapi? Nimepata 1,500. Na ulitoa ngapi? Sasa unajua kuna wale ambao pia lazima sasa tuwazungumzie hawa tu bado hao watu ambao wako chini hapo ambao wanapiga kura, itabidi hao pia tuwasomeshe kidogo, kwa sababu ni kama hawaelewi hao pia, kwa sababu kitu ambacho labda kinawafurahisha, labda wakiona check imeandikwa ni kitu kizuri, lakini ukiangalia labda kufanya kwamba hiyo mambo itoke kama umetoa pesa kidogo, haifai hivyo kabisa kabisa, unajua. Na ni kitu ambacho lazima sasa tuzungumze. This idea, I think like it is high time, like our leaders, and this one does not even stops with the presidency. This stops with every leader that is elected, that it is the right time you see on how our society can get educated, you know, launching a bursary kweli, hata si nyumba, na ukipata hiyo launch mama atapata 1,500. Na tuwezi sema kwamba kuna baadhi ya mabunge ambao wametumia vizuri bursary, ambao pia tuwezi kuwakosoa, yeah? Lakini unajua sasa tuseme example, kuna ma constituency ambao labda unafuata inatumika vizuri na constituency zingine hazitumiki vizuri. Unajua sasa hiyo Kenya iendelee, kusapata huko watu wamefanya vizuri na pesa tu ni ile inatoka kwa government na wote ni wabunge. Let me take this opportunity also to invite Miguda. Miguda, what is the way forward? Before I invite Makubura, then Joseph.
Way forward concerning education, to me, I think I got so many proposals, including after, but anyway, to me, you know, we need to solve this issue once and for all. So we know what is should be done and what is right. Let us give someone a job or someone who is worthy. And this issue of people trying to even try to make it look like things are okay and things are not okay, we should stop such things. And if we really mean, because this issue of education is now a major concern in the country, because you understand that it is only through education, like you have said, like me. So those people who have been close to me, Makobura have been close to me. I'm not good, not that in I'm unskilled anyway in other things. But if I don't know if there's no education, I don't know what I could have done. So let us allow people to go to school, and it should be free. And I like the comment of Father. Actually, that's my way forward. The comment of the Father Didi. Father said that we pay taxes. Education should not be free. Let the government fund. I think that should be my thought, that let the government fund the education. Period.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura.
Okay. I'm actually following the conversation at the comment section. And Father ameamua kaende. And I think even if you go through the comment section, you just get to see what is happening. You get to see the feeling of the people. You get to see their take. And if I were a leader, I know maybe one day I'll be the president of the Republic of Kenya. I'll be very keen on so many things, specifically on the stand of the people, the feeling of the people, their take, their view of your leadership, their view of how you are doing implementation of the projects. It really matters. If you get to have that keen interest in such, then you will have a leadership or a government that fully understands the people. It is very difficult to lead a country where majority of the population are saying that things are not working. And me, one thing I've never understood, this is Africa, and Africa, anything is possible. I fail to understand why the leaders cannot just recognize the fact that the people are speaking, the people are talking, and they're the majority, and these people want nothing. Fighting a group of people who wants nothing, it's not an easy thing. We've seen instances where we've had president and leaders who they rule, they loot, and then when the people start going after them, they leave the country, wanaanza kuishi kwa nchi zingine. Can you even enjoy what you've stolen? If then they want to enjoy in other countries, do you think you will enjoy? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because
okay, go ahead.
What needs to be done is you have to put the environment where you live, where you grew up, you have to make it safe. You have to make it safe in the sense that even after you've looted and you want to enjoy that thing that you've looted, you'll enjoy it in an environment that is conducive. You cannot be a trillionaire in a country where 50 million people are poor or are suffering in one way or another. Where are you going to enjoy those billions of money? If you get out kidogo na hizo limousine with that group na hizo magari mingi, watu wataanza kutoa tile kidogo kidogo, and with no time you will not even have the luxury to leave your home, and the next thing watajiambia that kuna pesa kwa hii nyumba, mabilioni ziko hapa, and they will come for it. So we are dealing with Africans, not just Africans, but some few Africans who have gotten the opportunity, who have been given the opportunity by the people. They get into the offices and then they forget. They simply forget their role. They simply forget the fact that they are they are holding positions on behalf of people. They simply forget even the meaning of what leadership is all about. Wanasahau, hawajijui, hawajielewi, wako confused.
Okay.
But most of time, we've made the mistake. So as a people, we have to get back to our senses, just like I did say yesterday. We have to elect. When doing election, when we are selecting someone to lead, we have to be keen. Let us stop these issues of tribalism. I've been seeing comments from Kenyans from different walks, giving their take on what Sifuna did say. The good thing is that we are in a democratic country and everybody is allowed to give their opinion. But majority of them are getting out of hand. They're turning it into a tribal argument. And that really worries me as a youth. If, for example, I'm a leader or you are a leader and you point out true things which are truly happening in a government, what is the problem? If you say that, people are suffering, if you say that there are no developments, if you say that there's high looting and corruption still going on, if you say that leaders are not keen, if you say that there's killing, there's no, the leaders are not following the constitution, what is wrong with that? If you say that as a leader, or if you point that as a leader, I think the best thing that people should do is to look into that, whether those things are true. And the fact of the matter is that those things are true. Then what is the next step? The next step is the people in government need to implement. If they don't implement, you come out and tell them that you're not doing what is right. And that is why partly me, I agree with the comments of Sifuna, that their biggest agenda of this country, the biggest agenda should be how to take President William Samoei Ruto home. The reason why I'm saying that,
Makobura, I agree
Yes.
with you. I agree with you. That is the decision that is usually decided on the ballot. But remember what we are dealing with here. If we focus mostly on education, because then you have to focus mostly on education and look at checks and balances, on how the checks and balances of the government, or on how the checks on the leadership works. There must be a problem somewhere, because let's say, for example, you want to take president home as the constitution requires, but you still have, especially the kind of parliament that we have.
Brother Ben, do you know the call that is outside here? Do you know what the youth are saying? Do you know what the people of Kenya are saying? We have a problem with the entire government. The entire government, we have what we call the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. The only thing that is currently functioning but not functioning 100% is the judiciary. The judiciary is the only body that is still making the country to stand. The parliament is already taken by the executive. The parliament is controlled by the executive. The parliament rubber stamps what the executive says. What is the role of parliament? To make laws. Are they making, part of the law that is currently, in question on why people are being, people being arrested and then they're being charged with terrorism? It is the parliament that made it, and they made it in awareness under the instruction of the executive. So as much as we are suffering today, and it was made in the last parliament, in the last government, the question we are asking is, if we had a parliament that was thinking, that knew that things were going to change, majority of people who passed it are the majority of people who are today complaining. And my question is, we need, and that is why the call outside here is, it's not just the president, it is the government. The government comprises of the executive, it comprises of the legislature, and partly we need to even look into the judiciary. There's a group of some professionals in that judiciary who are also not doing what is right. They're not following the law. They are being bribed, some of them.
Okay.
And we need to come out and call. We need to come out and speak about all these things. Number one thing that we need to fix is the executive, because that is where the instruction and everything comes from. And then we need to come to the legislation. We need to fix the parliament. Fixing the parliament entails or means that we have to come up with a group of people who understands what legislation mean. We have to they have to understand their role and why the people are delegating that power to them.
Makobura.
We've always missed that. But if you remember what happened in the 10th parliament during the Grand Coalition government, a parliament that worked, a parliament that did what was truly required of them in the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And that parliament made laws that majority of it, of course, ended to the 2010 constitution that we are currently having.
Okay.
If you remember what happened, allow me to just finish. If you remember what happened during that time, we had sober debaters, we had sober members of parliament who would, they would speak on matters which are affecting the people. And whether you are in the government side or not on the government side, at least you will see that they will be acknowledging the fact that things are not really working, and they will put the executive into account. And the judiciary was also being put on the account, and things worked. We can still do it. We have the opportunity to do it. We can still get the right members of parliament. And that, of course, will give the people what we really need as a city, as a country.
Okay, thank you so much, Makobura, for that. But one thing that I'm convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that the parliament knows what they're doing. If they're doing wrong, they know that they're doing wrong. If they're doing something right, they know they're doing right. Because if you look at even the people who are leading them, especially like people who are making such like decisions, some of them are learned, people who have better and good background in terms of education. There's sometimes you can just do something and knowing very well that it's the interest and where is their loyalty is at. That's what makes them to make that decisions. Where you find that where you peg your loyalties outweighs the needs of your people, that's where you will go. So they know, not that they don't know. Okay, let me engage you on something, Mr. Joseph, because you're the person who was coming next, about the economy. Because when you look at our economy, economic is struggling. And there's some things that you mentioned, there's some pillars that you mentioned about agriculture, and you mentioned agriculture, education, health, and everywhere. When you look at, especially you come to agriculture, you're talking about production. You will find that the rate of our production, we are not producing well. And that what informed that decision is we are importing everything, including eggs. So which means we don't have local production. Yeah. So that's where we are. Or if we have local production, like we are people who are driven by appetite of importing and selling to Kenyans. We do not have that the idea of giving priority to investing in the local production, so that one can lower cost of living and even creating the jobs. Yeah. So when you talked about agriculture, where do you see where the mistake was that has made it not to do well? Because it is said that it's the backbone of the country.
Thank you for that question. I'm sorry I had gone for a minute.
Okay.
So this guy, what he has done, actually, we have not heard of any project touching on agriculture. Have you heard of any project touching on agriculture?
There was provision of free mboleas, provision of fertilizer. Those are there on the public domain, brother.
So that's what now I was saying. If you look at the blueprint of the government, everybody has a blueprint. Even you, as you're doing your building, maybe you want to construct your house, you need a blueprint of what you're going to do. This government came in with a blueprint that was exceptional. You have ever had an exceptional blueprint? It was 100%. But I don't know if they had copied it from somebody. That's why it is very hard to utilize, or it was they are the ones who are making this blueprint. Because if you look at all sectors, like the one you're touching, agriculture, I've just asked you a very simple question. What have you seen the government do? You have just told me only fertilizer. And the fertilizer itself, when you go and look at the scandals that have happened, you can even start to wonder, why do a government do such things? So we had some developments that were being done in the Gulana Kulalu. Yeah. Do you hear of Gulana Kulalu anymore? Have you ever heard of Gulana Kulalu? Okay, we had before Uhuru left. He was not good, but he did also some small things which were good. He built a dam for irrigation for the scheme in Moya, and the river dam, and it was supposed to serve the two seasons, because in Moya they had only one season of rice. They were supposed to have two, but of to date, I still hear that we are importing rice, and we are still importing all these commodities. So if we are still doing this in this era, what do we think we need to achieve? Because if these are the things we are still doing, we cannot even be able to produce our own onions in the country, our own eggs in the country. We need to import. Where are we going? What is our blueprint? That is the question I'm asking. Where are we going? Because if you are starting from a point, you need to know your ending. So talking about the agriculture and the economy and the health, if you look at everything this guy has touched, that's why I say, please, before he leaves, let him not touch anything further. Let him just leave the things as they are. Because the more he's continuing to touch these things, he's making them even muddier. I think the next regime that is coming will have a very hard work to deal with all these things and straighten them up. Because this guy has touched everything, including even another thing that he was touching. You had even the one who was saying Maisha card. He said that they are going to bring another one, and we had already taken another Huduma card. Why don't you utilize the one which was there? You want to bring your own. It's like he likes changing everything. He wants to change. Even if he was given a chance, he could have changed the country name from Kenya to his own liking. That's why you see, we can come here and talk, Brother Ben. We can come here and talk 1 hour, 30 minutes about kids not having school fees, but we can hear a government that is building or renovating a state house for more than 6 billion Kenya shillings. They're innovating the whole state roads for 6 billion shillings. We can come and sit here and hear a government that just thinking about building churches. When in places like Turkana there, we are always, he's saying he's a president of the people. He's a president of even the marginalized. We can come and sit here and hear a president saying that he's going to build a church in State House, when people in Turkana, brother, they don't have even classrooms. Kids are taking their classes under a tree. I saw in Bomet, this guy called Professor is always showing us cases of how kids are going to classrooms which don't have even floor. When they're stepping on mud. We can come here and talk like everything is rosy. We want to have all the good vehicles and all the good motorcades. We can that money can own. You are driving a car, changing a car every time, and whereas the people in Mararal there, they don't have even food. So why have we become such a irresponsible? We have become an irresponsible society that even we don't care about the person who is hungry. We don't care about the person who is needy. We don't care even the person who is naked. We cannot even clothe the person who is naked. And it's so unfair that we have people we elected as members of parliament going to parliament and saying that I'm here because I want to utilize or to spread the government agenda, instead of doing what brought you to parliament, which people elected you to do for them the right oversight over the government.
Yeah.
The MP's work is just to oversight the government. If they can do that, even if they don't want to do the extra developments they want to do, if they can just oversight the government, we can be in a very good place. I had an MP today saying, he's a senator today, he was saying, there is no need of us to have all these developments while our kids are dying. There is no need. There is no need of having all these developments while we are silent, my brother, when the government is silencing us. There is no need to have all these things when your family cannot put food on the table. What is the need of having a road from Nairobi to Mombasa, which is 6 lanes? But at that time, the people in Kilifi and Kwale, some are dying because of hunger, brother. Why do we talk about stadiums? Even if we say they are good, and that time we are not prioritized on the things that matter in our society. A whole stadium can take a lot of money, but we cannot even think about our education system. So you want these kids to run away from school or to stop going to school so that you can give them work to do affordable housing, or what do you want to give them work? You want them to stop schooling so that you can come and give them work to build stadiums, or what do you want? Because what I know as a leader, you're supposed to be empowering the young kids so that one time they come. We are all here talking the goods of Kibaki. It is not that Kibaki was perfect. In Kibaki, we had instability in 2007. But we come here to talk about him, forgetting about the struggles we went through. But we are talking about a person who was able to persevere and be able to bring us the good models that we had. Do you imagine, Brother Benson, this guy was working under the old constitution? He was working under a constitution which was not even favorable for the Kenyan citizens. We brought in a constitution that is supposed to help us as citizens. But we are having one of the baddest leaders from, I talk about 2013, brother. I'm not even all of them. They are the ones who have messed up our economy and everything. We have had two leaders who have, brother, they have damaged our society. They have damaged our fabric. They have damaged everything. They have damaged even our institutions. We were supposed to have very independent institutions like IPOA. We were supposed to have independent institutions like NCIC. We were supposed to have independent institutions which were supposed to be mandated to look at the welfare, the NHRC, and other institutions. It's even funny that you can hear even UN wants to come to a country where you are hearing our rights are being even oppressed. It's such sad affairs that we have slept to when what we are trying to change is like now we are going 10 times back. It's like now we are going back to the 70s. We are going back to the 70s instead of moving forward. I see us sliding back to what we had in the time of Chama Moja, Baba na Mama. It's such a shame.
Okay, thank you so much, Joseph, for your input. Barak, I want to ask you a question on budgeting, and this has been informed, especially in our first conversation. You mentioned something to do with our priority in budgeting and where do we focus so much. And if I connect it to that, we have what we call the actual budget and aspiration, whereby what is the actual budget and what is our aspirations. You can look from decide that, okay, what we focus on especially is looking at aspiration budget, like we have this big budget, and what the aspiration that we have, we are going to do this. And you can remember the other time the president was talking, and some of these promises he makes is to inspire, to make aspiration for Kenyans to dream big because of this. So this kind of like aspiration, and the actual, the actual ability and aspiration, and that is what we have here. So when we are going to live in aspiration and maybe not in the actual setup, how is this going to cost us, the people, even the people in the leadership?
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Ben, for that. I think that, it is very good to dream big, by the way. And it is very important to have a vision and aspiration to be a big guy, or let me say a big economy in this region, which we are. But however, the problem that we are facing as a country, it is the actors who are supposed to ensure that we become really big and not just dream big. Because, we have been talking about public debt, even borrowing money. Many economies out there have developed out of borrowing. The only problem we have as Kenya is that actors, people who are in government, they borrow money and they steal the same money that they are borrowing for development. So we end up paying debts for money that was stolen. And that is why you find that we are sinking in debt. And right now, I think the pit is becoming very deep. I don't know when we are going to get out of this. It's like a bottomless pit now. So you find that that this is the challenge. And if we can have people who can be stewards of this money or of our budget, and they ensure that they appropriate these funds in the right way, and they prioritize money where it is needed, and we borrow money for development and not for recurrent or for stealing, I can assure you Kenya has a great potential as a country. Because Kenyans are very hardworking, Kenyans are very educated, Kenyans are intelligent, Kenyans know how to make money. But the problem is that the people who are overseeing our taxes, people who are collecting our taxes, people who are borrowing money in the name of Kenya are the biggest enemies of this country. Because I don't know if you remember some time back that even in the budget, there was budgeted corruption where they just put in maybe something like 100 billion just to steal. The parliament approves it, then once it's approved, that's it. So you find that this is the biggest problem. If we can have people who have integrity, people of integrity, people who have values, people who understand that resources are for development of a country, and once a country developed, many families will come out of poverty level, and people will start living a life that meets the HDI, Human Development Index, goes high. And you find that such a society even we will be an envy of our region. But the people that we continue putting into office has been a big letdown to this country. And and since 2013, the problem that this country did was promulgating a constitution in 2010 and then handing over the constitution to people who did not believe in it to implement it. Yeah. And that is where we got it all wrong. From 2013 up to now, we've never had a leadership that believed in the 2010 constitution. We started with Ruto, who never believed in the constitution. Right now we have Ruto, who was actually campaigning against the constitution and declared that he did not support the constitution. So you find that we have a very progressive constitution, handed it over to people who do not believe in it to implement it. And that is why you see we are having so many challenges, because the leadership is struggling to come to terms with the new constitution and the implementation of the same. So we just need to have the right people in office. That is the only problem we have, because once we do that, I think we will have minimized the many problems that are bedeviling this country. And the problem again that we have is that we are a democratic society, and democracy, when it comes to having leaders through democracy, sometimes you might not end up with the right leader, because number one, democracy, populist leaders tell the masses what they want to hear. And once you are told what you want to hear, and we mobilize ourselves because we are being told what we want to hear, and then we elect someone thinking that he's the right person. But you end up finding that, no, this was the worst person ever to be elected. So that is also another challenge that I don't know how we are going to overcome, because democracy most of the time normally enables leaders who are not competent to ascend to office, especially populist leaders, because populist leaders know how to manipulate the voters. And once the voters have been emotionally manipulated, they vote in masses to facilitate ascending to power of a leader who is not competent. And this has also affected us as a society. And once these such leaders ascend into power, they normally don't perform, because they are only good in talking and manipulation, but they are not good in performing and implementation. So as a society, we also need to understand that those people that we are giving opportunity to oversee our resources are people who are not just populist, but are people who understands implementation, and they understand management of resources, and they also have love for the country, because it's like we are just electing people who love themselves, people who are just transactional leader, people who just they transact on behalf of the state. They just make deals here and there, and they enrich themselves, and they don't care about the future of the country. And once you have such selfish leaders, I don't think the country can move even an inch, but it will be just making so many steps backwards. Back to you, Bwana Mark.
Okay, thank you so much, Barak. And maybe I wanted to ask you maybe a final question. I want to hear your take on the stand of Babu Owino, the MP of Embakasi, who said that he's going to vie for the governorship position. He respects Raila, and Raila is his friend, and even whether he's given a ticket or not, he will vie either with an independent, but still he'll have the respect that he has always had for Raila and the friendship. Mr. Migura, what is your take on the comments of Babu Owino? And what does it take? Do you think he has what it takes to maneuver into this politics without the support of Raila Amolo Odinga, who has been his mentor? And what again is your take on him? He was invited. He's among the leaders who have been. He was invited to one of the Kikuyu channels. Is it? I think it's Kameme, if I'm not wrong. Where, of course, he also had conversations with the people, and he had. He said a lot in matters of his political ambitions. And that tells you that he's a leader that is somehow embraced with quite people from other regions. And again, this governor of Siaya, Governor James Orengo, senior counsel, he has been missing, and there are comments coming out. If you check the social media platforms, that the governor is nowhere to be seen. And remember, there is no deputy as well. The deputy pia alipotea huko Siaya. Deputy haonekani. What is your take on those two, Mr. Miguda? And then you can give us your final remarks. And then Barak will also come and give his take, and then final remarks. Miguda? Miguda, are you there? Barak, maybe you can go first. I think Migura is not there, and maybe you can also tell us, Mr. Barak, what that would then mean. Suppose he's going as an independent candidate, how is that going to affect the ODM and the supporter that he has and also supports Baba Raila Amolo Odinga? Barak, Miguda, are you there? I think Barak, you can just go. Miguda is, I don't know.
Well, thank you, Mark. My opinion on Babuino's sentiments. Babuino has all the rights to vie for the gubernatorial seat of Nairobi County. And I think he stands a chance of winning. But whether he will perform or not, that's a story for another day. Because I believe he has really marshaled a good support for himself. And he has he has distinguished himself as a leader, as a leader who, with a huge mass of the young people behind him. And I don't think that I think it's a good idea that if he gets out of ODM, let him go independent. That might even attract more votes for him, as opposed to him joining a different another political party, which might not go very well with some people. But he has freedom of association that is guaranteed in the constitution. He has a freedom to vie as any political seat that he wants, and I think it will be a good test for him if I think he's not given the ODM ticket and he bolts out and maybe vies on as an independent. And I think he has been nurtured by ODM and Raila. That is for sure. But I don't think that you should just stick there, even if you are being your rights are being violated, or even if you don't believe in the deals of the political party, because it's only a fool who does not change his mind. So if he has now changed his mind and seen that he does not believe in the ideas of ODM, he's free to do so. And I think that he's the candidate to watch come 2027, and I think he has what it takes to send Sakaja home, because I think Sakaja, I don't know what magic is going to use to come to be re-elected, because so many things, I don't know, so many things are not going on right in this city. But I think Babuino should strategize well, and if he vies for the gubernatorial seat, he has to get it, because if he does not get it, politically it will really be a setback for him. And I think that is something that is going to generate more debate and more analysis as we approach 2027 elections. You also talked about Siaya. I don't know what is happening in Siaya, because the governor is, I don't know where he is, because he has not been seen in the public limelight. And so Orengo and the deputy, they differed long time ago. Even the deputy was impeached and the Senate reinstated him. Remember those days, there was no broad base. So the Kenya Kwanza senators decided to reject that, to vote against that impeachment. It was reinstated. He was lucky, because if it were right now, he could have been kicked out of office. So I think there's a leadership gap in Siaya County, and this crisis, I hope, is not going to hamper development so much. But even though we understand the personal challenges that the governor is having, we hope that he's going to return to the office soon and continue serving the people of Siaya, because that is what he was elected there to do. That's why he's drawing salary as a governor. I think you don't raise those two issues, right? So I can say my final comment. Yeah, thank you so much, and I just want to appreciate all my co-panelists and all our viewers who have kept us engaged in the comment section. Gypsy Corner, shukrani sana. Father, tunashukuru sana, and let me just mention Njeri, Njeri, we appreciate you so much. And the name is disappearing, and I think I have to get it because it's very important. Hiyo ingine tutasema kesho. Imenipotea. And Judith Karuida, we really appreciate your presence so much. So thank you so much, our viewers, and we request that you continue supporting Brother Benson Media as we continue to discuss matters of national importance for us, because it is our responsibility to continue discussing these issues and reminding ourselves our responsibility as citizens, and reminding Kenyans that wherever you are, you have a responsibility to ensure that you elect a leader who is going to serve you and the people of Kenya, and not the leader who is going to serve his own interest or her own interest and the interest of their masters. Because when these people get into parliament, they forget that they were elected by the people. They think that they were elected by their party bosses. So that responsibility, we have to continue carrying it out as we approach 2027, because I know that if people are not rightly informed, the decision that they're going to make is just going to be a continuation of the current problem. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Barak. Miguda, what is your take on Babu's stand? He's going for governorship, whether he's going to be given ODM ticket or whether he's going as independent. What does that? What is your take on that? And where is the governor of Siaya? The deputy is also not there. He's there, not there. I don't know how to put it. What is your take on that? And you can give us your final remarks.
Okay, I want to be very brief. You know my stand on Babu Owino. Like I've said before, Babu Owino, he knows what he wants and he knows what he can get, and at the right time. So I hope that by him going for the Nairobi gubernatorial, he gonna win. It doesn't matter whether he's going to give in ODM or independent, because he already has made a name, and he is the popular. Look at the candidates. He's the popular one. He is the opinion poll is the one leading. So likely he can be the Nairobi governor in the event that the matrix favors him up to the election time. For now, I think if the election is called today, it can be declared today. So we don't know about tomorrow, and we don't know about 2027. I think that is my take about the my last remark. I'd just like to the governor for say, I think right now things like, we understand political. You have to take retreat. Maybe he has taken retreat from the public because of the pressure he had previously, things like impeachment, maybe also matter of strategy, 2027, many things might happen. So I think that is one of the political strategy. Lastly, I'd just like to say that my last thought is to our viewers. We appreciate you for coming to the show, and also appreciate your comment on the comment section. We appreciate the support from our viewers, and we hope that we'll have a very progressive and meaningful discussion next time. For now, bye-bye. See you next time.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. Allow me to also acknowledge and to say a big thank you to Gypsy Corner, to Father Didi, to Njeri, to Laban Misiani, to Joseph Karaoke, to Judith Karuitha, and everyone who engaged us at the comment section. There was Bashu, and everyone who engaged us at the comment section. I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you and to appreciate the fact that you found time to be with us, you've engaged us, and you've given us your take as well at the comment section. We don't take it for granted. We say a big thank you. and we appreciate. To Gypsy Corner, once again, we did mention we really appreciate as a channel your support, consistent support that you've always given to us. We appreciate so much. And now I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. We really appreciate. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.